Hi everyone, it's Lottie Moore here from Wish Women. I'm here today for a interview with Stephen Brown from Firewalking Ireland and Firewalking HQ. So, hello Stephen.
Hi Lottie, how are you?
I'm really well, thanks. And yourself?
I'm good, thanks, yeah.
Great. So, as well as firewalking, I know Stephen does lots of other bits and pieces, some co-steering and so on. So let's hand over to Stephen and give him a chance to tell us a bit more about himself and what he does. Over to you.
Okay, yeah, well, my background's in adventure sports. I grew up in Cubs and Scouts, so I was really interested in outdoor sports, even though the whole time at school I wanted to study law. That changed whenever I was 17 and filling in my UCAS form. So I've always worked in the adventure industry since then, canoeing, kayaking, raft building, all sorts of team building events, personal development challenges. And then about 7 years ago, I started working for myself. And when I did that, I actually had an opportunity to go on a firewalk in Belfast, led by a guy called Brian Dunlop, and loved the experience. And some years later, Brian got in touch with me. We had kept in touch, and he said to me that he was moving to Dubai, and he had 3 firewalks booked in, and he was wondering if I would fancy getting trained as a firewalking instructor.
Wow.
So I went to Sweden. I came back and ran the 3 firewalks, and he didn't move to Dubai, but we still work together a little bit from time to time. So it's all good.
Wonderful, wonderful. I'm quite lucky that I'm heading over to Ireland in a few weeks to do some work with you as well, Stephen. And I'm really looking forward to doing the Sweat Lodge experience that you've got coming up, actually. I know that you've got some people coming over to help you with the training, and it's going to be a real learning experience for all of us. Do you want to tell us a bit more about that?
Yeah, my firewalking teachers are Rolf and Osa, and they actually worked along with Tully Burkhan in California, and anytime he was running a firewalking instructor training course, they would have gone over to deliver the Sweat Lodge as part of the whole few days. So that was my first experience whenever I did my firewalking instructor training course of the Sweat Lodge. And it really was a remarkable experience.
Wonderful.
And I loved it, and I think it's a great activity and a great challenge for people. And I've actually done Sweat Lodges now in Latvia and Sweden and in America, and I've been working with Rolf and Osa to get trained as a Sweat Lodge keeper. So whenever they're coming over now at the end of August, it's twofold. It's to run the training for those that are interested in becoming Sweat Lodge keepers, and it's also for on one of the days for people to come along and experience the Sweat Lodge led by Rolf and Osa.
Brilliant, brilliant. So if somebody's sitting here listening to this and they were interested in maybe getting involved, maybe coming along and having a Sweat Lodge experience, if that's something they've never done before, or even as you say, taking it one step further and training to be a Sweat Lodge keeper, how can they find out more about that, Stephen? How can they get in touch with you? Is there something on your website?
Yeah, both courses or events are listed on the website, which is just at the bottom there, firewalkhq.com.
Brilliant.
For the Sweat Lodge keepers, that's really for people that have experienced Sweat Lodges before.
Oh.
The Sweat Lodge that Rolf and Osa deliver, they were trained by a guy called Richard Deerpark from the Pueblo I can't speak right now, Pueblo Indians. And so the thing about a Sweat Lodge is it's a ceremony, and it has to be delivered in a very certain way every stage of it, from preparing the land, building the Sweat Lodge, and to the actual ceremony itself. So it's very strict about how it's done, and so you couldn't just turn up with no experience of Sweat Lodges and say, well, I'm going to become to learn how to run a sweat lodge. But certainly for the Saturday, no experience is required.
And is it an expensive thing to do, Stephen?
Well, sweat lodges, really, going back traditionally, or something that people would trade and barter for.
Okay.
This sort of modern day and age, the main form of trading and bartering is usually money. So,
Yes.
for the 1 day sweat lodge, we have priced it at £75, and it's not. For some people, I know that might be a little bit high. It's not really about something that's like, we're not providing these, and I'm certainly not learning to do it to turn it into a money-making exercise. To be honest, there's the time that goes into preparing for the sweat lodge and building it and upkeeping it, and afterwards it wouldn't even really pay you in terms of what the charge is. It's more just a contribution towards the cost of the experience, because there are costs we have to pay to rent the land, we provide food as part of it. There's quite a lot of wood is burnt on it, there's blankets need to be purchased and so on, so there's quite a lot of expenses in it. And that said, at £75 we feel is a reasonable price. But if somebody came to me and said, listen, I really want to take part in a sweat lodge, I feel it would be a really good experience for me, but I just couldn't afford £75 right now, that's fine. It'll not be an issue. We'll make it happen.
£75 to me sounds like really, really good value. I did the sweat lodge experience as my firewalking instructor training with Steve Gonsalves, and it was an amazing experience, actually. So I think, to me, that sounds like really good value, but it's great that you're able to offer people that opportunity to know that that's there as well. I can't wait to come over and try a bit of coast steering. I did some canoeing off Donegal coast 30 odd years ago. So I'm really looking forward to coast steering. So it'd be great. Maybe we could do some filming of that as well. And our next video that we share with everybody will be off the beautiful Irish coast. Well, thanks for that today, Stephen. Anyway, I hope that's given people a bit more information about the sweat lodge and what that involves. If you would like to know more, as Stephen's already said, all the information is at his website, or do, of course, just ping us a message here and we can put you in touch to find out more. Okay, thanks, Stephen. Bye.
Brilliant. Thanks.